bring it in. Add a zing to your brew. Experiment with flavors. Try something new. We're here on the mic. It's a beer lover's dream. As we kick it back, we always build that team. Check your equipment, we'll guide you through. With a little hot magic, the craft starts with you. So grab your gear, let's make it a night. Brewing the best, let's keep it tight. The mic's blasting and the brews keep rolling. Join the conversation, homebrewing's calling.
You're listening to the Beer Craft Homebrewing Podcast. Tune in every Wednesday night at 6:30 Pacific for a dose of beer and brewing banter with your hosts, Ben Holm and Andrew Ziegler.
So hop aboard for a little wit and wisdom in the Pacific Northwest, because it's always beer 30 on the Beer Craft.
Are we live?
We're on.
Oh, shit. Welcome back to the
First day of the year.
Homebrewing Podcast.
Welcome to 2026.
It is fucking 2026, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
And I need beer.
I do, too.
We've been talking for too long already.
My God, did y'all like that little soundtrack? We think it's pretty cool. We're hilarious. We think it's hilarious.
We like it.
Yeah, we like it. Hey, we got some cool stuff today. We are talking with Adam Woodworth, a fellow home brewer.
Oh, yeah? Welcome in, Adam.
In the studio. Hello,
Hi, guys.
Adam.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. We're going to have fun tonight.
God, don't sound so excited.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I don't have a voice for radio.
You sound fantastic. Fuck off.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I got the face for it, so, it's
Oh,
all
you're
good.
beautiful.
All right,
Oh,
we're set then.
stop it. Buy me dinner first.
All right, I will. Hey, let me give you a drink first.
All right. Yeah, Adam, you brought some beers today. We're talking pale ales.
I did, yeah.
Pale
So
ale
you have
today.
a lineup of commercial pales, and then I'm guessing in the big bad boy, there's several rounds of your own homebrew.
That is a homebrew, yeah. So we've got
All right.
we've got the Muir Pond Pale Ale, we've got Dale's Pale, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and then Johnny Utah. These were just something that I grabbed at the gas station on my way home from work one night, and I just kind of wanted to see what I liked about them, see what I didn't like about them, and then make a homebrew based on that. So
Wow.
that's
Well,
kind of where I came up with
This is an impressive lineup.
Yeah, it's making me thirsty.
We talk about at least 50% of this, at least.
Yeah.
Oh,
every
we've
other
had the pale
episode.
ale on the show like 14 times, I think.
Yeah.
We
We always talk about Dale's.
Dale's, yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, start us
Very
off.
good. And then,
start us off
hold
on
on.
the bottom.
And then you've got the homebrew.
The homebrew,
Yours.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very similar to the pale here.
Not similar to the Johnny Utah.
Okay.
When we get to that one, that's got a pretty clear distinction from the other ones. But
Alrighty.
I took Ben's recipe from the homebrew store.
Yep.
And asked for a couple little tweaks. Like, here's kind of what I want to do and what I want it to end up like. And this is
what you
we got.
get. Cool.
excited.
Well, what is your IBU on it?
IBUs are 39,
Okay.
5.9% ABV.
Okay. I just wonder because I always wonder which one to drink first.
Sure.
Because I definitely want to taste the hop profile in
work
your
your way
beer.
up.
I think we
Yeah.
should start with your beer first.
Okay. Let's
Because,
do it.
yeah,
Might as well. Shit.
homebrew.
Homebrew for a homebrew podcast.
Hell yeah.
Do we need to say that it's beer 30? We haven't done that.
Oh.
Well, it's always beer 30
It's always
on
beer
the
30.
on the podcast. That's a thing. Yeah. But it is officially beer 30. We are thirsty motherfuckers.
Yep, we didn't quite have the same entry that we usually
A little bit
intro that we
different
usually
today.
do.
A little bit
but
different.
That's not this. That's a special one for the first
you want a fair
podcast of the
glass?
year.
First of the 2026 roundup. Yeah, this is what season 2, episode 11. I think we're at. So that's cool.
Season 2.
Yeah,
I think
that
it's
makes it-
episode 10.
I think 10 is actually the one that hasn't hit the airwaves yet.
Uh-oh.
As of recording right now, it hasn't hit the airwaves.
I might have
We're
named
gonna-
it wrong,
We're
then.
going to fix that.
Okay.
Oh, maybe it is. No, it is 11 because this is a brand new one. I was farting around looking for the last episode, and it said number 10. So.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. We've got a pale-looking beer. That
Yes.
is a
Nice and clear.
lovely golden color. I like that.
Yep.
Good clarity.
Got carbonation in it.
Good head. We'll give it the whiffer, a smell test.
It's got good fruity esters coming from it.
Yeah, we got that nice beerific aroma. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do it right.
Nice. It's good. Drinkable, creamy, a little creamy.
It's just beer. beer flavored beer. Ben's favorite.
Isn't that right?
Good pale ale.
Yeah, not an aggressive hoppy. I know that Utah is going to be up there. The Sierra Nevada's got a big pop on that one. So walk me through it. What'd you do on this beer?
Well, we took your recipe, the Cascade Pale Ale from the shop, which is OG at 105.2, and then finishing at 1013, mashed at 153. Right, that's your recipe.
Sounds about right.
And I was looking for something that was just a little bit thinner, lighter body. So through talking with you, we ended up bumping up the base malt by half a pound. We cut the crystal malt by a quarter pound, so by 50% of the crystal. And then I ended up with a 1056 OG and a 1006 final gravity.
It's crispy. Yeah. Nice. No, I think that was, and so the hopping was the same?
Hopping was the same.
So let's see, 100%. That's a 60, what's that, 60, 30, and a 10, I think, on that bad boy. All Cascade.
Did you change your temperature, your mash temperature?
Mash temperature was lower, yeah.
Lower.
I targeted 150, and this was like old school brew in a bag because I was doing a double brew day, so I had my electric system on the counter and brew in a bag on the stove, and this one, temperature dropped a little bit, went down to 147 by the end, but yeah,
it's not too bad.
Lower.
That's a who cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I did some reading on that. And it sounds like a lot of that doesn't come across like the way that you expect it to. Like Brewlosophy's done, a bunch of those tests.
Yeah.
And they say you can't tell the difference. It's
between a
30-minute
mash and most of your conversions inside 15 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes for
the majority of the conversions done pretty quickly.
Yeah, like if
I just like to leave it in there to squeeze as much sugar as I can get out.
If you mess up your strike water temperature and doughing at the wrong temp,
as long as you can't come back down.
There's a lot of reaction that happens right there, and you're kind of shit. We're done.
Yep.
Very, very quick. By the time you're even done stirring the son of a bitch out,
right.
You've got
I just doughed in at 165.
Right. Like, that's going to be doing something.
My thermometer was off on my boil kettle, and dang, I heated my strike water up too hot, and you're just going to kill it.
The one that it gets me all the time is like, oh shit, it's fucking 40 degrees out here today. That my strike water cooled off way faster than I needed it to.
Your mash tun's
by
frozen.
the time I transferred in there, like, oh my god, yeah, a little bit of seasonal variance will bite you in the butt every time.
Do you have a calculator for that?
I do, as a matter of fact, have a calculator. We have a new easy brewing water calculator I've designed as sort of a system agnostic brewing calculator. And it's pretty basic. Where
do you find that thing at?
That is at nwbrewers.com/easy water calculator. I'll put the link in the show notes. But I designed it system agnostically because everybody's system is unique. Even if you have the same setup, the bit between your ears is going to make a difference on brew day. So
now we can adjust that on the
there's some adjustment
itself.
You can do for sure. There's a constant that you can adjust to your system through repeated usages. You can say, oh well, I'm coming up a little bit different. Let's nudge this in the right direction. When we get the results that match brew day, now we know the number, and that's pretty slick. I kind of base, it's all grain weight based. So you just tell it, hey, I got 12.5 pounds of malt today. I want 152 degrees. Give me the rest. Like, tell me the volume, strike water, sparge water, temperatures. It's pretty slick.
Ambient temperature.
Not yet available.
Temperature on my roof.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah. You can
temperature
tell, like,
of the water in my well.
Ambient temperature, I believe it's on there. And it works.
Okay,
it works pretty good. I've been doing that math longhand for brewers at the shop for a while, so it's nice to just be able to go beep and be done with it.
There you go.
It's pretty easy, and everybody can do it. So I dig it. We'll get into the kind of those water calculus sort of things as we get on with the show. We're talking about brewing a bag today. Adam, you've been doing that one for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, a few years now.
Yeah. Was that your, like, when you transitioned from extract, you went into brewing a bag? Is that?
Yeah, it was kind of a, revelation. Like, oh, I can I can get into this for like barely any money
Yeah.
at all. I've got all the equipment I already need.
Right.
I just need a
now
bag.
you can like perfect a variation of the beer you want.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
exactly.
if it was a bigger thing when I got started in All-Grain, like shit, I would have saved $3,000 just in building my setup. My God, what a brilliant idea that is.
Yeah.
I do like the brew in a bag. I think those little electric systems they're basically just brewing, overgrown brew in a bag.
Yeah.
with the filter on it, right?
Yeah,
The
stainless bag
filter.
and stainless steel basket instead of
Basket,
a bag.
yeah.
Same function. I dig it. I think it's fantastic for brewing.
Yeah.
So you're using electric now, or do you?
I have electric,
Yep.
and then I still have my old stuff, obviously, which is nice if I want to teach somebody how to brew. I'm not like stuck brewing what they want to and giving up all their beer. I can
Right.
brew right alongside them and do the same
Well,
thing.
that's a
do
good. You're
whatever I
teaching the
want.
gospel of beer. We love that about
Heck
you.
yeah.
So you're brewing in the bag electric.
Both, yeah.
Oh, both.
Yeah. So I've got my old system, which is like a standard, mesh bag in just a big pot. My original like
Right.
7-gallon, I don't know, turkey fryer or whatever it was that came with the cheap system I got off Craigslist. So that's my old school one, and then just rinse the grains and do the whole boil in there, and basically
Right.
the same thing compared to the mash and boil, which is the electric system that I
Oh,
use.
yeah.
So
So
but
it's
so easy.
It's a pretty basic setup. If you've been an extract brewer doing full volume boils, you probably already have an 8-gallon kettle, something in that range, and you just need a bag. If you end up, however, with a 10-gallon kettle, you lucky sons of bitches, you can do in brew in a bag. You can do a no sparge version, 100% of the water, accounting for absorption, no sparge necessary. Just pick that bag up and get it the fuck out of the way. Oh boy, that's a fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a streamlined brew day. I dig that one. But you need more water.
Now how am I going to get all my sugars out of that? Oh, you don't even sparge it. It's just that much volume
so it's like
of water.
Yeah, you do use and one of the things with brew in a bag, it is
Just let it drip.
It is less efficient than in say a traditional 3-vessel system, fly sparging versus but you get into these noodly arguments. Oh, fly sparging versus batch sparging, brew in a bag. At this scale in the 5-gallon brew range, the difference in efficiency is usually just $1 worth of grain. Like you can easily manage for the inefficiency of your brewing
Right.
with another $1.
No big deal.
It's like that's a who gives a shit.
Yeah,
number.
you're not doing a mass production, so you're not losing a lot of money.
No. It's not costing you an extra bag of grain for $40 or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna throw an extra pound of
Malt in there. Yeah.
Bam.
That's pretty much it. The no sparge brewing is a little bit, you mentioned rinsing your grains with the mash and boil or the electric systems. You're doing kind of a modified sparge, so you're getting some of that. And so with I'm guessing with your original kettle, you can heat your sparge water while you're mashing.
I
on
have
the
a
other
second kettle for heating sparge water.
There, yeah. Just
kind
there
of
you
a
go.
pain in the ass, but it works.
Is it electric as well?
I
or
don't know
you-
how many times I've forgotten to heat sparge water.
Oh, golly gee, that's never happened over here.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, but yeah, I just throw that. So my old system, I would pull it off the heat and wrap it up in towels or blankets or whatever to try and keep that mash temperature, and then use my heat source that I originally used for my strike water. Same thing, I'd use that just to heat up sparge.
That's easy stuff. You can, and I know guys who do that on with 2 or 3 kettles on their stove top.
Sure.
That makes it easy too.
Yeah.
If you only have the one big kettle and it's being used for brewing, you can heat up sparge water and as many vessels as it takes to get to that 5-gallon volume. That's easy stuff. I dig that. It's low tech brewing.
But it
I
makes
appreciate-
damn good beer.
You cannot make the argument that any one system is better than another because if you look at who wins like NHC or any of the homebrew competitions, you do not see more all-grain brewers with this system breeding extract brewers, right? So there's a certain amount of skill level you acquire along the way. If you are good with your process and you have good ingredients, you end up with good beer.
Yeah.
So you can't really make those arguments. So it's just really like, well, this fits in my budget or this fits in my closet when I'm done with it. And that's important.
Yeah. This beer was the old system with the bag not the electric. So
What made you decide to go that route?
I was just brewing 2 beers at the same time, and the other beer I wanted to brew because I wanted it to come out a little bit clearer and like make damn sure that I was hitting my numbers.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a no-brainer with the electric, right? You turn it on, you set the number you want it to, and it's there.
Done. Yeah, I like those electrics. They're pretty. I call them patio friendly, man.
Yeah.
You can sit up, put your feet up on the up and brew some beer on the while sipping beer on the patio. It's pretty slick.
Yeah, there's no worry about
Yeah.
overheating your strike water or it taking too long to get your sparge water up to temperature. Like it's just there.
Yeah, I remember my early system had like a temp controller or a temp probe that had an alarm on it, so it would at least beep at me when I got there. But I didn't account for carryover, and then the probe the inside of the wiring got wet in the probe and fragged out around about batch 16, and then it's no more. And like, well, that didn't work. Yeah, I love the electrics. So Adam, I'm running out of beer here. Which of the 4 other ones, which would you say is closest to what you ended up with?
Probably the Mirror Pond.
Mirror Pond?
Yeah.
All right, I think we should probably have the Mirror Pond next. That's a very tasty beer. I look forward to drinking more of it.
Thank you. There's more to have later.
That's why I like you. Bring lots of beer.
Andrew, you want to finish what you got there?
I will. All right. Thank you, sir.
So, in your brew in a bag history, have you run into like big big danger zones or big like don't do that again kind of like moments in your brewing, like maybe the process you didn't have it refined or anything like that?
Originally, trying to heat up your runoff, once you pull the bag and you're trying to rinse it off, if you're using propane, there's a real good chance you're going to pour your flame out. So that's been fun several times.
Oh, yeah. Get a little excited with the water and pour it down the outside.
I just didn't have a good way to support, this big-ass bag of grain that's super heavy now. So it was kind of finagle something together, and you're pouring water over it, and it's dripping off the edges and down the side of your pot. And
that is kind of the advantage.
Disaster.
That is kind of the advantage of those electrics, is that rigid basket keeps it right there.
Yeah, and it's way up above everything else, so you've got plenty of opportunity to get it in there.
So have you done, I've heard a lot of brew in a bag guys, they'll do like a double crush to try to get a little more efficiency or go finer. Have you done any like side-by-side with that?
No, I think for me, the way to get it to do what I want it to do, like you're saying, you just add a little more grain or mash a little bit lower, and you get the same end alcohol result. So that's worked for me. I've never really played around with double crushing. I don't have a crusher. I rely on my local homebrew shop, Northwest Brewer Supply.
Hey, I know those guys.
And they do a damn fine job for me. So.
Oh, speaking of, we got a new mill coming.
Nice.
Yeah. It will actually allow for custom gap settings. If it's supposed to be pretty easy to do that.
Okay.
So
Cool.
that might be a thing.
Why don't
I haven't got to play with that yet.
Why don't we take a break here for a minute and give some love to our sponsor?
All right, I'll let you.
All right. We'll be right back.
In the craft beer system, the people are served by 2 equally important groups: the brewers who make the beer and the bartenders who serve the pints. These are their stories, presented by Northwest Brewer Supply. A man steps out of a well-used Mazda pickup with a homebrewed bottle of red wine. The voice of an "I am a Walla Walla red wine woman" fills the air. A smile appears on the man's face as he realizes he's one step closer to his own Walla Walla red wine woman. Whoa, man. All thanks to Northwest Brewer Supply.
Welcome back to the Beer Craft, folks.
This is the Beercraft Homebrewing Podcast, and we're sitting in the studio today with Adam Woodworth.
We're having too much fun.
He's got a lot of pale ales for us to ponder, and we're talking brew in a bag. Adam, this you poured the Mirror Pond. That's Deschutes Mirror Pond
Yeah.
as the closest example of your beer, and I'm inclined to agree with you.
Yeah. I think this is just about as good.
It's got the same sort of like body and mouth feel. So
the sweetness,
very
got the same, about the sweetness in it.
There's you're gonna get an edge of a little more bitterness out of that beer, but damn fine example.
I get a little flavor. I get a little more of hop flavor in here. What's your hop profile?
I just used 100% Cascade.
Yeah.
And followed Ben's recipe.
At 60,
I think it's 1
10,
ounce of 60,
20, or 15.
half or 1 ounce of 30,
I
and
think
then
it's
again
like
a flame out.
I'd have to look it up. I think it's 60, 30, 10 or something like that.
60, 30, 10.
Yeah.
It should be changed to 60, 20, 10.
Yeah, and maybe an ounce and a half.
Yeah, because 30 just will contribute to bittering.
Yeah, the last time I brewed the Cascade Pale straight up, I noticed it's got a heavier, like crystal mouthfeel, like a traditional like English pale ale, which I like. But I think these days I tend towards more drier finishing beers, so I can drink more of them.
I feel like you could drink more of them.
Yeah, at least I can. I mean, like I give it my darndest, don't I?
We always do.
Yeah. So I think when we talked about this recipe formulation, we were talking about like dialing that crystal malt down. What did we cut it in half?
We cut the crystal in half. We left the carrot pills alone, so that's another thing you could try.
But I think the body, like, it's dry. You got a lower mash temperature for a little drier expression, but it's enough body to carry the whole show. I love malt. I'm a big fan of having enough malt backbone to deliver all that hoppy goodness into my face hole.
You love malt.
I do love malt. I think it's a very important ingredient.
You think so, huh?
I do. I do. Let me ask. Yep, I do.
It's important.
Good.
Can't make
stuff.
beer without it.
So Adam, in your did you ever have to worry about in brewing a bag? Did you ever worry about stuff like a stuck mash or anything? I mean, you got that bag or the steel kind of in your going back to your OG system.
Yeah. So the OG system definitely not, because you just pull the bag out and pour the water over it, and if it drains through it, great, and if it drains around it, you don't really know any different.
Don't care no more.
The electric system for sure. Yeah. If I forget to ask for rice hulls, then there's a big difference, and it takes a while to get all that water through, or say, screw that, I'm not doing this today. We're pulling it, and we're
nose
just
barging.
adding water until we're at boil volume.
Yeah, those electric systems almost universally. I mean, I haven't played with all of them, but universally they're like, hey, rice hulls are gonna help.
Huge difference.
No, I've stirred in there before, because you can get a big bag and it goes over the side and kind of get in there and stir
during
it
the
around.
mash.
During the mash.
I don't see a lot of like with big wheat. Say you're doing a wheat beer in a traditional like mesh bag with lots of holes. I don't hear so much about like a stuck mash from just from the huskless wheat inclusion.
Yeah.
Because you have so much,
Like
so many
flow
holes
through.
to go through.
Yeah.
It drains out effectively. However, those electric systems, they just have the holes on the bottom and maybe a few on the side, and they're glacially slow. It's not like it's stuck. It's just slower than you want to waste time on.
Am I going to put my bag in, then put my grains in, and then add water?
Adam, what do you do?
Because I could do a little grain, a little water, a little grain, a little water, a little grain, graduate it up as I fill my bucket or as I fill my mash.
For traditional brew in a bag, I always included the bag just directly into strike water, and then just started spooning grains in and stirring as I was
into the
going.
strike water.
Yeah.
Okay.
And typically that was a somewhat messy process, because I'm usually brewing by myself, and you're holding the bag with one arm and you're stirring with the other and trying to not let the bag, fall off the whatever you got it tied against, and keep it open. So.
Yeah, and then it twists up because you drag your fucking spoon across it.
Yeah.
That's been my process. I tried to lower a bag like glacially slow, kind of like I was underletting my traditional mash tun, and my arm got real tired.
Right.
So it didn't work.
All right, so you need to get the kettle going. You need to get the strike water going. You get your bag inside, draped around the side, right, to top.
Preferably secured so it doesn't.
Secured, hopefully.
Yeah, most of
maybe
them have like a drawstring or something
yeah,
you can use.
And maybe some clothes-pair, a clamp,
Sure.
little clamp.
Yep.
And then you can have like your grains in a plastic pitcher thing and just
There's a good idea.
start.
Next time you brew on the old system.
Yeah. And then kind of stir it in and get it going. I like it. Okay, so I've ran into one of my biggest problems with the brew in the bag. Okay, and this is if you're going to ever use a kegel, and the top portion isn't cut out. It's the top's just cut out of the
That's
hole.
a pain in the batoot.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
First time I did that, I was like, "What the heck? Well, this doesn't make any sense."
Fucking
now.
bag stuck in there.
And you're like jimmying it back and forth, trying to get it up and out. And it's it's not only that; it's 65 pounds because it's 20 pounds of grain plus the water.
That's
and
like 0.13 gallons of water per pound of grain is typical, and all the water that's yet to run off.
So that's 160 some pounds.
And it's
Worse,
150 degrees.
Worse, Mike.
Yeah, exactly.
My original kegel, hadn't done a really good job of deburring.
Oh no!
I knew that, when I cleaned it up, I knew there's a fucking spot I haven't filed, and damn, there's another cut on my finger.
Oh.
So you run rip the fucking bag open while you're trying to get it out.
It just all falls back in there. Bloop.
So, kids, if you're out there listening, don't use a kegel for brewing a bag.
Right.
Yeah, it's no bueno.
There are proper ways to do
those things are
efficiently and fun.
I built a false bottom mash tun out of a keg, and it worked fine, except for the cleanup. That was the biggest sticking point.
Yeah,
whether it has a bag or not, getting all the grains out of there with that lip. You can't just pour it because most of it just packs up on that.
Yeah,
that
you got to use a hose.
I hated it.
You got to use a hose, high power pressure hose.
Yeah. Which I had not of.
That's what we use in Mexico.
Yep.
Yeah, just those kegels. Yeah.
Oh yeah, your old system was kegels. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Just turn it upside down right in the brewery and spray with the hose, and you get all the grain out, and then you clean the grain up. But
yeah. So we talked about some slight inefficiencies with brewing. We talked about maybe the pitfalls of using a bag if it snags on something stupid. We said when we talked about stuck mashing or stuck sparge or anything like that, it doesn't really happen with the traditional bag. The other one, I'm drawing a blank. I don't know that there is a whole lot, other things going on, because I've done bench trials as far as material, whether it's insulated or not, as far as holding temperature, it definitely holds enough temperature throughout most of that hour that I don't worry about things. I know some of the electrics are double wall insulated and they all seem to have the same performance, whether it's a full mash tun made of plastic igloo cooler or stainless steel fancy mash false bottom mash tun or kegel mash tun. They all kind of had the same 2 to 3 degrees over the course of an hour kind of performance, right? It's boils down to the thermal mass.
It's a big volume. It's hard to lose
grain. Yeah, kind of
unless you're
holding
brewing
it
in February.
A little bit different. I know the electric systems, because the grains are corralled in those steel pipes, that there's a lot of water on the outside of it. Just by virtue of design, I do see bigger temperature swings for the liquid side of those machines, and I know all of their thermostats for those machines are also kind of calibrated with that variance included.
It does seem that way.
Yeah, because every time I've thrown a thermometer in my mash in the grain side, it's 152 right where I programmed now, even though the digital readout says 147 or something like that.
Yeah, I brewed last weekend, and it was a smaller batch because I'm doing 3 1-gallon test batches. So I mashed the whole thing all at once, and it was only 6 pounds of grain. And I noticed that the temperature, the heater kicked on more frequently than it typically does when I'm doing a full 5-gallon
mash,
batch. But it still only kicked on, I don't know, maybe 3 times over the full hour. So it does a really good job.
No, it's a pretty slick setup, easy to accomplish with not. I mean, what's a bag cost? $10?
Yeah.
Something dumb like that, like 24-inch or
Do they?
29-inch bag. Yeah, it's about $10.
$10?
Yeah. Look for one with a decent looking seam. You don't want
Something that's substantial because you're going to buy this. You're going to be able to use it a few times.
If you put 10 pounds of grain in there and get it wet, it don't weigh 10 pounds anymore. We just
don't buy a cheap one because it's just a waste, and you could waste your grain and waste your beer over this.
Or it comes apart at the seam when you're trying to yank it out, and then what was the fucking point? Like if you don't have a false bottom in that thing, anyways, now you've got a worse show just to separate your.
Now I used to do
grains.
that. I've done that before. I had some problems with my false bottom, where my false bottom got bent or something, and then as I'm mashing, my mash is coming through my pump, and my pump's now getting all clogged up, and now it's not gonna down. What's going on? And it's in my false bottom, and I'm trying to figure this out. So pretty soon, I'm like, okay, I'm not even going to deal with this anymore. I'm just going to throw a bag in there and just brew it like that, and just took care of that until I had enough time to figure that out. Because I was brewing every other day there, so and I was super busy, so I had a lot going on. I couldn't address it, so I had to do something, and brew in a bag worked for me.
Yeah. As a rescue medium.
Yep.
Nice.
Now, do you know the history behind the brew in the bag?
I am not 100%
So,
on that.
what I'm reading is it originated from Australia.
Okay.
Okay.
That tracks.
Where? Track.
That tracks.
Yeah,
Australia.
that tracks.
It was
Yeah.
probably originally. It was probably also a no sparge method originally.
No sparge, no cool, brew in a bag. They're all about making beer as
A
easy as possible.
brewer posed a simple, revolutionary question about why can't we brew in the same vessel? So I guess Patrick Hollandale was associated with getting this popularized, and they went through the Beersmith podcast to do it.
Thank you, Patrick.
Long time ago.
Thank you, Brad, for the beautiful podcast.
I asked what year, and it just says mid 2000s.
Okay.
So it's been quite a while. Very
It's
cool.
been out there for a bit. It was
Cool that came from kind of Australia.
Yeah.
Well, they've done some cool things, trying to eliminate
Well,
water.
We were talking about that.
the no-chill brewing.
Yep,
Yeah.
the no-chill brewing with a really flat. What is it? A chiller bath or something like that. What
They
isn't it
use-
on top of the building?
Oh, the cool ships. That was
Cool ships.
that was for the.
That was for
episode.
steam beer.
Yeah. No, the
All these
no
things
chill
run
brewing.
together.
The no chill brewing in Australia, they use a square fermenter, and they fill that thing clear to the top, and so no head space, and they just lit it up and come back tomorrow. But you don't see DMS bombs out there, even though it stays at 170 degrees.
I wonder if it's the pressurization.
I think it's got to be something about that no head space that is keeping DMS.
No
at bay.
oxygen release.
Some damn thing. Yeah.
So then do they transfer it to a secondary fermenter after it's cooled?
Yeah,
If there's no
they'll ferment
room for
in
the
a
yeast in
they'll
there.
ferment in another vessel once it's cool.
Okay.
Well, how do you get it that
foam,
cool in
yeah.
Australia? I mean, it's the desert, right? I mean, geez. If they can't cool it,
Not all
more
of
to
it,
begin
yeah, no,
with,
it's
are they going to be able to
still
keep temp?
south.
Yeah, they brew in July.
Hey, how about we try another brewski?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I ran out too.
I'm a little
I'd say
parched.
either Sierra or Dale's.
Let's go Sierra.
Sierra's definitely hoppier. Dale's, I'm excited. I haven't had a Dale's,
Dale's?
pale ale in like 12, 15 years.
I'm not either.
Kind of thick from what I remember.
Thick. Little malt forward. Thank you, sir. Mother's Milk. The first craft beer I ever had. And it wasn't even called
is.
craft. But this was the beer that is responsible for this show.
It was microbrew. Microbrew. That's what we used to call it. Yeah.
It was the first Coors Light keg I'd ever seen.
Right.
Or crying out loud. I was like, wow, this party's fucking hip. They don't have any Coors Light. This is great.
Yeah. Is this? What's that beer handle right there? Is that stuff from Milwaukee?
Right. It's like
No, it's from California, boy.
California and with a green label.
Where you been? Where
Yeah.
you been all in my life?
See, that's when I want pale ale, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale is where
It's good. It's
I
crispy.
live. Yeah, they are. They have a. I don't remember. They publish IBUs. Probably not. It's definitely got.
You know what I say about
definitely
this
hop
one?
forward.
Yeah, hop forward.
Yeah.
And they do something certain to this beer that it's almost like an oxidation. Tiny, tiny bit of an oxidation in some way that gives it a certain little fuzz from my tongue. Always. This beer, always. No matter what. I mean, this beer, this one right here.
I don't get sherry flavors. I don't get cardboard flavors from oxidation.
It's always there.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it
like
does have a.
it's something they do to it. I don't know what it is.
And I don't know. Maybe they carbonate this one higher than
House flavor.
some of the other ones.
House flavor of some sort.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
like a
they're-
stone beer.
They're brewed bi-coastally. They got a plant in North Carolina too.
Yeah.
So not just in Chico anymore.
So they've got to mimic that house flavor somehow. Mm-hmm. House always had it oxidized.
Right. So that's what we do. Well, you know, like what's the friggin' Corona? Corona knows their
always.
beer. They know their beer is light struck.
Right.
But
But we have to keep it in these bottles
we
because
gotta put
that's
it in
what
the fucking glass.
that's what
clear
everybody
glass, man.
expects.
It wouldn't taste the same.
Nope, it
if
wouldn't be
was-
Corona.
You wouldn't be drinking if you were doing light struck.
it would
It ain't
be-
goddamn
it would just
Corona.
be Victoria
Have you-
then.
They have it in a can, do they now? I think I've seen that.
So how do they do it
think
then?
so.
Have you had one? Does it? Did they
I
light
think
struck?
I've
Did they
had-
pre-light struck it, or did it was a
I
fucking
don't know
cleaner?
if I've had like original Corona, but like they have a special or some
Yeah.
BS that.
Yeah, the
And I don't think it had the same skunkiness.
Familia.
That's what.
Yeah.
they-
Familia.
The amber.
Yeah, it's
That's
kind of
pretty-
amberish, a little
Yeah.
bit different.
Yeah.
But they do have it in the can, and I think in the can it tastes a little bit different. It's not that
Cleaner.
Corona. Yeah, it's not.
No skunk.
Right,
I'm
right.
convinced they bottle it and then run it in front of a UV light so that it's the same for every single bottle.
Right,
But I
right.
don't know.
Because nobody leaves it out in the open anymore. You know, like it used to be. It used to be in those bottles, and then they would put it on the back of the flatbed and transport it to San Diego or Texas or wherever they're going, and it would get light struck, and everybody's like, "What's wrong? What? Oh, this is Corona. I don't know. It tastes like that." And
Well,
everybody-
put a fucking lime in it. You'll be fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
And it tastes great with lime too.
Turns out, yeah. We drank some last night. My daughter.
Did you? Coronas?
My daughter has a couple of. She had a case of Coronas, and we.
Listen
I was
to
drinking.
you.
Well, I didn't drink it. I was drinking.
Oh, I didn't drink it.
I was drinking a Freem rice lager.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, my-
Did you do a comparison?
She did.
Ah.
I know what Corona
Man,
tastes like. I know
Ben,
Yeah, yeah.
Ben. I mean,
She had only had it in the
We're about
refrigerator for
beer.
like an hour.
we're about beer. You could have
so
reported
not
on
only is
this
she drinking
so good.
She
This
not only
would
is
have
she
been
drinking
great.
crappy beer. Sorry, Corona guys. She barely chills it enough.
Crappy beer. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Corona does not make crappy beer. Corona beer is great beer. It's a certain way flavored. It's light.
I just don't like skunky beer.
Well, I
Sell an
know,
awful lot
but,
of it.
but I do. I like it.
I mean, I drank a lot of Pacifico out of the clear glass, and it's got a little skunk edge too. But I thought it tastes
Tiny,
better than
tiny.
Corona does.
Just like Heineken.
Heineken's definitely skunky too. That green glass, yeah, not a fan.
But Heineken's good. I drank Heineken in front of a police officer before while driving.
That sounds like a not bright move.
No, he said, "Put your seatbelt on, Jaime." That's a fact. I'll never say where it is either.
Yeah, the rice lager was really fucking good. I tried it with a lime and without, and it's bright and shiny with a lime.
Yeah.
but it doesn't need it.
Was it
Doesn't
nice
need
and
it.
cold?
Yeah, I chilled it. Yep.
Did the
Makes
rice
a
lager
difference.
have that floral, little tiny florally kind of?
That little
You know,
floral edge, yeah,
yeah.
and that slight sulfur bite to it as well. You know who also has a good rice lager is Chuckanut. That one is like it's you could fool me on a blind Sapporo taste test. It's a fine rice lager.
I haven't been to Chuckanut in a while.
I don't think they make a bad beer, do they?
No,
I don't think so. No, wouldn't be right for
I don't
their
think he's
age.
ever. I don't think Will's ever made a bad beer.
Well, probably he's just not going to talk about it. We've all made a not so great beer.
Well, of course, but
They're all beer flavored, but maybe not so great.
okay, Chuckanut has never made a bad beer.
Yeah. Good shit. Okay, so we're talking brew in a bag. What were we talking? We left off. We were talking about rice hulls in electric brew in a bag systems.
How you can make it a little more efficient without mistake. Without stuck mash.
I tell people when they're buying an electric system, like put some rice hulls in there. For $1 worth of rice hulls, you're buying an hour of your life back, because it just seems it's glacially slow to drain that basket without rice hulls. I think some of our wheat beers, we include a pound of rice hulls instead of just a half a pound. We kind of think about, okay,
Dude,
it's
a
half
pound of rice hulls is a large volume.
It's like a gallon sized bag with the rice hulls.
I know it compresses once it's in the mash, but it's still, you gotta allow for that.
Yeah, and for electric systems, most of them have like 16-pound grain capacities. So for a 12-pound grain bill, a pound of rice hulls is not going to tip the scales or anything. But we kind of think about, well, there's half a pound because the system needs a half a pound, but I still have a butt ton of wheat malt without a husk, right? Like I got 5 pounds or 6 pounds of wheat malt. No husk, I still need to supplement for that because the electric systems corral all that stuff. It acts like a traditional false bottom mash tun all the way to the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then glutenizes and
the gelatinization and gumming of the shit.
And nothing is going to get through.
Yeah, I've explained it as like, you know what a stuck sparge is? That is like trying to eat your oatmeal with a straw.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to fucking not work for you.
It ain't working.
Yeah.
He ain't got enough vacuum for that one.
No, your face will hurt. Like, you'll implode it. It's no good. Don't do that. So rice hulls are a pretty cool. But with your traditional system, you probably didn't do that.
Didn't have to worry about it with the bag. But in the tube, absolutely. Yeah, I did a blue corn pale ale where I used blue cornmeal, and if I hadn't had rice hulls, I'd probably still be draining.
You'd have porridge, is what you'd have. Yeah.
I'll bet you in a bag, when you are manipulating that bag in and out of the vessel, I think that probably breaks up the mash grist in there, and then allow it to drain a little easier than like a basket where it just keeps all that plug in there. Yeah. So I think that's why it's easier with the bag, because it like loosens up. It's not as stiff.
Thinking about kind of what's going on in that bag, one of the things I've noticed on the electric systems or any mash tun really, that you probably didn't have a problem with when you just did the bag, if your mash tun is not level, not straight up and down, like if it's leaning over like the Tower of Pisa,
water's all the way to the top.
Yeah,
you have a problem.
Yeah, you start looking at your mash tun after you drain out, and it's got a slope to it. Well, that slope acts like a drain, and you have terrible efficiency,
especially if you have like a 3-vessel gravity system.
Yeah, all systems, like all mash tuns, they're corralled like that. Like if it's not level,
I think my mash tun is about 6 feet almost.
Yours was tall as shit. Yeah,
like you can get up there and look in the mash tun, but
yeah. I get calls about, my efficiency shit. It's like, well, is your shit level? Do you see a slope when you're done?
Yeah, do you brew on your driveway?
Because it's not level. Yeah.
And that water's gonna find the easiest path of resistance.
Yeah,
and just keep going down.
Downhill's far faster than through the mash.
Through the mash.
And so but imagine with with the bag.
Try Dales.
The whole thing is kind of just this cattywampus kind of shit show. Anyways, like everything's gonna fall down. In that you probably don't notice it. It's probably harder to notice if you did have that problem. But I imagine with all that flow through, you're probably going to be okay. So easy $10 to get into All-Grain. If you got an 8-gallon kettle, get yourself a mash bag and 12 pounds of grain. We've got
down here to Northwest Brewer Supply.
We've converted all of our recipes
from
extract to All-Grain as well, so we've got you covered. We've done all the heavy lifting, tested and measured, made it ready for you to brew.
Easy ordering.
Yeah, coming soon. The new website is underway now that the holidays are over. So we'll have a new web store.
Ready for your next holiday, of course.
Right. Yeah. We'll have a new web store here coming soon-ish.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Man, I can't wait.
That's going to be cool. We've got a new shop.
I'm going to be mail ordering just so somebody can deliver it to me.
Right.
I like it's that endorphin when something appears on my porch.
Oh, yeah. It's the Wells Fargo. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So what do we got here?
This is Dale's from Oscar Blues.
Sweet. God damn, I haven't had this beer.
6.5% ABV. They don't call out the IBUs.
Ooh, the aroma on that's got a. That's not. It's got a fruity. What is that? It's pineapple-y kind of aroma to it.
Yeah.
That hop.
So I'd say the bitterness on the Dales is comparable to your batch.
Yeah.
I think similar mouthfeel as well.
I think that's from the extra alcohol, just kind of sweetening it out. But it could just be lower IBUs to begin with.
Right, 6.5%. Yeah, it's
6.5 versus what's yours, 5?
Yeah,
Mine's 5.9.
Okay. So it's right the same.
Ben's is 5.1. I don't think mine was supposed to be 5.9, but
that's where you
That's
ended
it
up.
dried out.
You've got efficiency right there. That's called extra.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you look at kind of like attenuation rates on like, packaged yeast says, 75% attenuation. That is an average number over several batches.
Right.
That is also, is that the average performance of fresh yeast or 2-month-old
I
versions?
should
of
have
Right.
looked
Or
at the
what you're
date on the
feeding it.
yeast.
What you're feeding it.
nutrient
what-
levels, all the things.
There's a bunch of different.
Because I've had
variables.
I've thrown batches in that I doed in 152 to hit 152, and 1056 ended up like 1.004, and it should have finished at like 12. It was like it was very, very fresh. It was very, very happy, and it just fucking got after it. So like I don't if I know in commercial situations they can like
sounds
cap
to me
the
like
fermenter, they can stop the fermenter
you got a lot
where
of
they
good
want to be.
fermentables out of there.
Yeah.
You got.
It was
if you-
very
you go
efficient
down-
that day.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
go down
yeah,
to 106. That means you've got a lot of your fermentable sugars without the non-fermentable sugars.
But my readings for that day, and admittedly the readings could have been wrong because I hadn't calibrated my thermometer as well. So if I was doing in to attain
It was lower.
152 and I didn't get it, and I didn't have the instrumentation to tell me that,
It was still good, right?
it was great. I drank it all. I drank 100% of it. That's what I do.
Always.
Speaking of calibration,
No,
I've
I'm not. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I've not drank 100% of my beer. Sorry.
Give it away, huh?
Oh yeah.
You have to. If you want to keep brewing, you have to give some of it away.
That I like that part about it.
Yeah.
I like
Well,
the.
I was mean and I've dumped some beer.
Oh, okay. That happens.
It does.
So you were talking about calibration. What do you
Oh,
got?
yeah. So I can't, I haven't figured out where it's coming from yet, but I'm not getting consistent readings between my refractometer and my hydrometer at various stages. So sometimes they do match, and sometimes they don't match. And I've factored
Temperature?
for temperature,
Yeah.
and that doesn't
Have
seem
you
to be. But
have
I
you
don't know.
corrected for glucose versus maltose?
No.
So, okay, for refractometers, we've talked about it on the show several times, but like if you got 8 brewers, for refractometers, you're going to have 8 different readings. But one of the things with refractometers, they are calibrated for full spectrum UV, as in no clouds in the sky, which in Washington doesn't happen
Okay.
all that often. The other part is it is calibrated for a glucose solution. Maltose has a different refractive index than glucose, so you have to correct for that as well. And then calibration is typically done with distilled water.
Calibration is done with distilled water. That part I can eliminate.
Yeah, so there is a corrective factor you can apply, and it's the maltose factor.
I'll look into that.
I don't remember what the number is.
Is
It's
it always different? Is it consistently different?
I haven't
maltose?
taken enough measurements on my end to know, but I would guess probably so.
So the difference between what my refractometer telling me it's 16 bricks and my hydrometer is going to tell me 1058.
And I would
Right.
I would default to your hydrometer. In those scenarios, if you're doing side by side, take your hydrometer, because your refractometer, all of the scale on that is calibrated against a hydrometer's reading.
Okay.
Do we
That
know
it-
the difference? Do we know
that's
the delta in that?
I don't, but I remember Bob Brock. He was working
Yeah.
on something. He was working on an experiment. He was looking at refractometer versus digital refractometer, all compared to
Right.
a hydrometer, to see what those kind of like inboard variances would look like, accounting for maltose instead of glucose and all of those things. And I don't know if he ever if he had a sufficient.
Is it the
sample
size
to,
of the molecules that block the light?
Well, it
coming
is it is the
through, basically?
refractive index of maltose solution versus glucose. So it's a little bit different, and we're talking like to the thousandth, decimal
Right. So
place.
basically, it's going to be pretty close.
they're
And if I only use a refractometer every time I'm checking my mash,
then it's
sugars.
largely a who gives a shit number. Like,
and I record it that way. I'm
hey,
fine.
I got something like I'm in the ballpark
It's
happy.
16.2 today.
I calculate for pre-boil gravity often.
As long as
do you do
as long as your numbers
Sometimes,
don't
yeah.
consistently go down, then you're good. You're fine.
I'll typically calculate a pre-boil gravity, so I can take a reading earlier, and I still have time to fix it. If I totally fuck up the mash and I fuck up the sparge, I've got a pre-boil target. If I miss that target, I still have a half an hour before it gets to the boil.
Now I can add some DME.
Still add some DME with plenty of time, and I haven't fucked the beer yet.
Nope. And you're still fine.
This is the way.
And what happens
like
if it's over? Like you got just incredibly insane amount of sugars.
Add more water.
Yeah,
Or
and make a
call it
bigger batch,
double.
or yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
change its fucking name. Right?
Change its name.
It just requires rebranding, right? Like,
Isn't that what we do these days? I mean,
think
like
so.
whenever I go out to any brewery, I can never see the same beer. Even like I can find Black Raven's Trickster, okay, but not very often because they've got other beers coming out.
oh, they got
Right.
yeah, they got a lot of them.
They got they're doing a lot of beers.
Yeah,
I mean
Trickster's
they're
a good guy
and
beer.
there's I love their beer, and I'm using Black Raven because I have a long love affair
Yeah.
with their beer and them, and I always Trickster was the first beer that I had by them. So by them, expanding. Creating new beers, creating new flavors, getting that out to the public. That's what they've been doing. They're kind of like a bigger player, but some of these other littler breweries, they'll pop out these hazy beers every three weeks, every 2 months, every 3 months.
New beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of that. And there's a lot of that in the marketplace these days. Since the hazy, really made.
I think
hazy made huge waves unexpectedly.
I think
And
it changed it up so that way when I go to a place, I don't have to drink the same exact beer every time because. Honestly, I mean, I'm not going to go to a place and order a Trickster anymore. I mean, I grew up on it. I mean, I didn't grow up on it, but I mean, like, I grew up with them on that one.
Yeah, we definitely see a deterioration in like flagship loyalty. Like, this is their number one beer. They sell the most of.
Yeah,
like that's the one I love.
The
But
Kitty Cat Blues. Kitty Cat Blues is one I'll always buy.
A lot. The hazy changed things into this like, it's got to be the newest fucking thing.
Right.
And
this week. What's the
Yeah.
best hop this
Yeah.
week? What's the best hop combo this week?
I think there's been a lot of fatigue in the market, both on the brewer side and the consumer side, over the new. Because if the new doesn't strike you the way the hazy did, like meh, kind of thing, you're off. You're up next. Kind of. You're off to the next show. And if it's
trying to impress you one more time.
if it's been 12 duds, in your last 12 visits to 12 different places, like I think everybody's getting a little. As a brewer. Like as a home brewer, I regularly come up with a new recipe, but I only brew monthly, kind of 2 to 3 week intervals. If you're a professional brewer having to come up with a new fucking beer 3 times a week, that's tiring.
It's
man.
It's impossible.
Like all of your hopes and dreams is this next fucking hot brew. And if it doesn't hit the mark,
they changed the name because they brewed it. It turned out different.
It's kind of.
I'm just.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, how many of these? How many of the breweries are putting out these hazies?
Most.
Well, I mean, you can go to some places and they have 3 or 4. You go to one. You can go to some places that have 1.
Yeah. It was hard to ignore it when it made those kind of waves in the landscape. So yeah, some breweries brew a butt ton of them.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Yep. And they change it. And kind of what I was gonna say was, is it all this experimentation with the different combination of hops? I mean, do they have the small batch system that they're starting on, like a home brewer would have,
Or they,
and then they just scale that up?
Are they fully dialed in on that
Right.
system and how it performs?
Right. Or are they just throwing, this recipe worked good. Now let's go ahead and throw these hops at it.
One of the aspects when we were talking about when we did the hop show, we were talking about kind of what the modern research into hopping is kind of like. They're talking about all these thiolizing yeast strains and different flavors you can get from hops, from the same old hops we've been using. So it's not always like, it's the new hotness, a hop that hits the market, HBC fucking 4212, or unsexy name, insert unsexy name here. the research says, hey, if you do it this way, you're going to get this kind of flavor profile. So there's a lot of new research coming out every day on those kind of fronts. So some of those new beers are, just like we would, we do as homebrewers, we read an article about something cool, or we hear the best podcast in the world, the homebrewing podcast, the Hot Break
podcast.
Yeah, the Hot Break homebrewing podcast.
Yeah, remember that
Maybe
one?
we hear some cool shit.
Yeah,
on
let's
there.
just give a competitor our endorsement there.
Yeah, well, I think I got it back around. I don't know a lot of beer.
Click here. Hold on. Okay.
Maybe you read something cool, and maybe listen to super cool podcasts like the Hot Break Homebrewing podcast,
like the Hot Break Homebrewing podcast.
and you hear about this new thing you can do, and
hey, what's that new thing?
It.
What's that new thing we can do? You can go out and listen to the Beer Craft.
The Beer Craft. Oh, the Hot Break is the old fucking show. Jesus Christ! Somebody's been drinking a lot of fucking beer over here.
I've been trying to
Don't
get
worry,
you.
folks, I'll drive
I've been
that
trying
way.
to.
He's been.
I'm trying to lead you down the right road here.
Damn, he's hinting hard over here, and somebody's.
We're almost done with the Beer Craft episode.
I have a question.
is it?
If
I have
can
a
squeeze
response
it in.
guaranteed.
What's going on?
Okay, I want to know how to make bigger beers when you're limited by a max grain bill in an electric brew in a bag system.
Ooh, pick me.
Ben,
I know.
How about you?
All right. Here's my go-to on that. If I've got, say, a grain capacity in my system of, we'll say 16 pounds,
Yep.
which is fairly typical for the mash and boil, and my recipe calls for 18 pounds of grain. How do I get there? That's kind of what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So here's my workaround. 5 pounds of base malt grains is equivalent to 3 pounds of DME. So if I'm looking at a recipe that is over the top of my limit, I will deduct 5 pounds of the base, the 2-row,
Yep.
and substitute it with 3 pounds of base malt prior to the boil.
DME.
DME, excuse me.
Now I have a lot of volume that I can substitute. Why would I do that? Why?
Well,
how much volume does the DME take?
So 3 pounds of DME is equivalent to 5 pounds of grain.
Right, so I'm taking out 5 pounds of grain, which leaves me with a space about
a manageable,
that big.
but it's a manageable volume. So if
but
you're-
my DME is maybe not
that's
even that
boil
big,
side and it dissolves.
But then it dissolves into the water,
Yeah.
so it's fluid.
It's fine.
So now I have this
Fine.
much space. Why am I taking away grain?
because
Why am I just
your
not adding
grain-
3 pounds of DME to this shit? Make it fucking powerful.
That's the same way. Like most oftentimes I see this.
Where am I
use
going to do
case-
that? I'm going to do
this-
that in
use-
in the boil kettle.
in this use case, when you have more grain for the recipe than your system will allow for, it's an easy, 5 pounds of base
So
malt,
there-
3 pounds of
there's
DME. You could also do it. You could also reverse engineer.
There's
that,
a
and I've got
formula.
10 pounds,
There's
yeah.
a formula for this,
And I worked it out, and it's
is
3 to
the
5
volume
to 3.
the volume of the mash tun versus how much water can go in per pound that fits in there that will efficiently
Right.
convert the malt.
So in that mash, in
That is a known. That's a known
right
cubic inch.
But all
volume.
systems, when you have more grain, and so with more grain, you have room for less water in any system.
Right.
And when you have the lower, say you're at the 1 quart
now-
per pound
Yep,
of grain
yep. So
versus 2 quarts.
Now I've got as much grain into this vessel as I can for the water. It's barely enough water. It's barely enough water to do the conversion. I get the conversion. I could take those grains out. Now I try not to add any more liquid, any more water, because I don't want to do that yet. I want to add the DME, and that's going to boost the sugars. Boost the
Sugars,
sugar up.
a slight increase in volume in a who cares number.
Yep. Slight, and then figure out what volume that is, and then increase the
What you'll
water
see-
until I hit my correct brick.
The reason I advocate for a 5 pound of base to 3 pound DME ratio is all systems, when you are at the extreme end of any mash tun, when you have, say you're at the 1 quart per pound of grain ratio, you see efficiency kind of drop off at those low edges. So in a grain bill that's more than your mash tun can fit, or when you're maxing it out, you can see some performance issues. So this is an easy, this is the Viagra for it. Yeah.
You got performance anxiety. That's just to start out with.
So
now,
that
can
5
you
to
really
3
can you really
that 5 to
make
3
it through the mash? Is what I'm wondering.
Right. Or are you going to end up like that other fucking podcast that sent us an? Anyways.
Wasn't that a magazine? This is brewing the bag, right?
So I see better performance. See, in a lot of scenarios where I see like a 17-pound malt bill and a mash and boil, the removing 5 pounds of base malt puts my total grains at 12 pounds, which is in the butter zone for performance in
butter
the
zone. That's butter zone. I am
the
gonna
butt hurt zone.
I am maximizing my volumes. I'm
Mashing.
I'm
is
at
gonna
critical.
suck.
I'm critical
telling you.
volume.
You are on the razor's edge all day long. I know that about you.
Bam.
So I hope that answers your question.
I think it does.
1 or 42 ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you have any more questions?
Probably, but aren't we out of time?
Nah, we own the show. Fuck it, man.
Ben's buzzed. Hey, we go on as long as we can. This guy
I'll
can
just keep talking.
This guy could talk forever if we just let him. And we don't mind. I mean, we can go an hour and 10. People love it.
Fucking paying for it.
The tip that I wanted to bring was if you have the electric brew in a bag with a pump, I really like to run the pump through the mash because I get a really, really clear pre-boil volume versus
do that
not doing that
constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Start that way.
It's pretty clean after like 15, 20 minutes in the mash, but if I just let it go, like it's not hurting.
Do you
run a lot of particulate back into the mash tun?
Yeah. Do you stir it at first? Kind of give it a little.
I mean, I stir the hell out of it as I'm mashing in, so it's pretty well.
Because once it does that, it starts to stratify, and then you get like columns of water, going through there. So they kind of don't want to when you're running your pump your whole time. Then you want to kind of like keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
But unless your volumes are up like that, if your water's above your grain, and then it's going, and you should be fine.
Yeah. They're a little noodly with like the electric systems because the pump can drain the water side of the mash basket
quicker
before like it trickles through the mash basket.
So you have to
you got to fudge
your
with
flow.
it. Yeah, you got to fudge with it a lot.
Now, do you have a flow adjuster for that? Like a little...
It's got a valve.
Just a valve on it, yeah.
One of the things I do when I'm using the mash and boil or an electric system, when I dough in, sometimes I can get a little maybe carried away, sloppy, and I spill some grains on the outside of the basket. So before I will turn the pump on, I will do like a traditional Vorloff with a pitcher from the main spout, just to collect all that particulate, because I don't want it going through my pump and I don't want it clogging in my pump or any of that. So I'll do that Vorloff, pour it into the basket, and that kind of until it runs clear, kind of thing.
Yep.
And that traps all that.
Then you'll plug.
Maybe I spilled. It catches all that.
Right.
Then I turn the pump on, and it does a better job. Ta-da.
Yeah.
Do you clean your pump every time?
I'm going to run PBW solutions through the pump apparatus. We generally use an immersion chiller for mash and boil batches.
Is that more efficient?
It's efficient enough, and it's. I have rigged it up to pump through my plate chiller a few times, but usually that means unbolting or unclamping some hoses to make it all work. And sometimes I'm in the mood for that extra layer, and other times I'm like,
just depends
fuck
on
it.
your
This is just going to
system.
take 5 minutes longer, 15 minutes longer. I don't fucking care.
Right.
So it depends on
you don't have to do any work.
Yeah,
and you can concentrate on doing other things like
batch one of the day or batch 2 of the day?
Yeah.
Right. I like to double batch.
What's the most batches you've done in a day?
We've regularly double batched to 15 gallons. 25 gallons in a day in an 8-hour shift.
With multiple systems going?
Nope, one system.
Oh, one system. Okay. On the big one, on the Blickman.
We would do the big system. We would do like a 15-gallon, a 5% beer, kind of like, maybe the cream ale or another blonde or something easy drinking. We call them shop beers.
You could feasibly brew 4 times in a day.
We did do a partial
12-hour day
on the big system. We have a 22-gallon mash tun on that one and a 15-gallon boiler. We did a 20-gallon partial mash in that, and then heavy duty extract, or we added extract into the boil. So it was concentrated, and then we diluted into 4 fermenters and did like 20 gallons in a single pass with that system.
That's cool. Efficient.
And we drank the fuck out of that beer. Yeah, like, when we retooled the Mountain Cream Ale kit, and it was good before. We had a little honey malt. We wanted to add like some steeping of grains addition, give it a little zhuzhing, for a modern, more modern beer. And we added some honey malt, and I can't remember what the other one is off the top of my head. And we brewed it 5 gallons. It was fucking delicious. We got to make 10 gallons of that beer because it didn't last very long. So then we did the partial mash 20-gallon version of it, and we found out a very, very valuable lesson with that beer. We can drink 20 gallons just as fast as we drink 5 gallons. That beer evaporates quickly through the liver. Any more questions for you there, Adam? I'd love to sit here and chat with you if you got it.
I mean, I'm curious about Party Guile.
Party Guile.
Electric brew in a bag.
Well, okay. I tried to do I've not been successful. One of the the mistake, and here's the mistake I made on a Party Guile batch. I sparged my first batch like I normally would, and then I added some grains to it, but it was pretty heavily sparged. So batch number 2 was astringent. It was because I'd sparged the grains then twice. Sure. It was too much. So if you're gonna do a Party Guile, you're gonna want to do your big beer is not a full volume batch.
Okay.
So when you do the second runnings off of that beer, or what would otherwise be sparged, that's adding to the second beer. And that one you might be able to do a little bit larger volume.
Okay.
And so you can play with kind of like, if I want to add maybe a different color for the second batch, steep some, or do a steep instead of a mash to get a little color on your smaller second beer.
Add some DME.
DME cures all. It's the All-Grain Brewer's secret weapon. But I have not been successful in Party Guile brewing, and that's because
he snuck in, didn't he? That's why his name is Sneaky Pete.
Yep. Oh,
dang it!
Yeah, you smell good. Look at him.
I might have to cut that last part out.
It's not one I've Party Guile is just not one I've been super.
Okay, so I have a question.
Response guaranteed.
Is there what is this? The system, your electric system you use, mash and boil?
Yep.
Is there a 10-gallon version of this?
There are the Anvil and Grainfather brands. I know the Grainfather definitely has a what it is, that'd be like the G40. It's a 40-liter setup for 10-gallon batches. It runs 220.
Wow.
By default.
Yep.
It's a bigger batch.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. They're out there, and they cost about $1,000, or that one probably costs more like $1,500.
Wow.
Grandfather's pretty pleased with themselves on that one.
Good system though.
They do make good beer. The mash and boil is my favorite one. Just the build quality and price point fits really, really well. I've seen systems that are less costly, but the build quality kind of. One of the problems, and Grainfather has this one too, they have a removable false bottom from their malt pipe. And I've heard of a lot of the horror stories that when you pull that grain basket out, the bottom falls out. And, we've already talked about tearing bags in like a kegel or getting it out of there and like all those, fuck that problems. Not my favorite thing. I want something that's solid I don't have to worry about. It's not fun.
Losing your grain into your
and the 110 power is a nice bonus. Like I got interested in the mash and boil when we were living in an apartment and we couldn't have propane.
Right.
So I was like, well, what are my options?
Easy enough.
Hey, Ben, what can I do here? Oh, let me show you. Here's this 110.
You do it on your balcony or just in the house?
It was great.
On the balcony?
You can do either. I do it on the kitchen counter now.
Do you? Okay.
I got to brew back in the kitchen when I first got one.
Awesome.
And I hadn't done that for almost a decade because I'd got kicked out for propane. So that was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice to put it back in the kitchen on a snowy day or some bullshit.
Heck yeah.
I think when I got into All-Grain Brewing, I tracked the number of rainy days on brew day, and it was all of them. How about that?
Here in the Northwest, of course.
All right. Well, I think that's been a pretty fun show. Adam, I want to thank you for coming in.
It's been great. Thanks for
I
having
hope
me.
you had a good time.
Hell
It's,
yeah.
Thank you, Adam.
I'd be happy to come back anytime.
all right, buddy.
It's
We'll
fun.
do something.
We had a good
good
good combo.
Tell us about some of those other experiments you want to do.
Yeah.
On another show of the Beer Craft Homebrewing Podcast.
Thank you, everyone.
Cheers.